Sweetie, it's about time for you to go. You've been hanging around for a long time. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to open a brand new net for our eagle. I've got a brand new one I've been saving. Look at that. This net was donated to us by some wonderful people, and I've never had a chance to use it yet. Letting my other nets completely wear out, and I'm down to like just 1 or 2 nets left. So I'm going to use a brand new net for this eagle.
Oh, Scout's up there. He's never
Scout.
up there. He always takes off when I'm here.
Okay.
There he goes.
Well, just so everybody knows kind of what we're doing today, I've got a golden eagle. She came in July. We have a very pretty little young golden eagle that has, again, like this time of the year, that gets separated from mom and dad, is having some problems feeding itself. It was found in some people's backyard weak, and the really good thing is the individual that actually found it was a falconer living here in southern Utah, and he basically was able to pick the eagle up, put it in one of his chambers, and then give me a call. And he put some food in for the eagle, which is actually the appropriate food, which is wonderful for a change. And the eagle has eaten, and so it's got a crop full of food. Let's see if I can grab the little kid here. Can I grab you without you grabbing me? Yep, I can. Come on, sweetie. Come on, baby. Yeah, getting them out of the box is always the most dangerous part. But that's okay. Hi, sweetie. Now it's time to give you a bit of a physical. Let's see how you're doing. You got food in your crop right there, so that's really good. I'm proud of you, sweetheart. And so
tell him what kind of food he fed him.
Yeah, basically the same thing. Some of the same kind of food that we have here. Because he's a falconer, he has Coturnix quail, which is something that we feed our birds as well. So the eagle got actually a good meal. Now it's time to see if you're in one piece. I think you are. I think you were just starving, sweetie, because you're a little bit skinny. But let's see what we're looking at here. Yeah, let's see what we're looking at here. Let's start up here, the shoulder. Let's see how that, oh, that's nice and stable. That feels good. And the bone all the way down. And that joint is good and stable too. Come on out, it extends properly. That's good and tight. Good.
Missing some feathers?
Missing a feather or two, but that's not critical. So that's okay. Your feet are beautiful. They look just fine. There's no problems with that. And your legs are feeling good and strong. So let's see about the other wing. See where we're at here, sweetie. Okay. Okay, the joint feels good and tight. What a good boy. You know, the golden eagles are really nice. They've got a little better personality than the bald eagles do. And they're not as apt to bite you. I mean, they can still certainly bite you, and they have to kind of watch that. But not as bad as the bald eagles are. What a pretty, pretty baby. You really are. Okay. And again, especially in the summertime, we treat for lice. And so in fact, I'm excited because we did a box opening today, and we got a brand new fresh bottle of bug spray here, parasite spray that we use for the birds. And this is what works the best for these guys, because it only takes one treatment when they get the bird in, and then a treatment usually about a week or so later, and then the bird is good until we release it. We give it another little treatment before we turn them loose. And so I think you're beautiful. I think you're going to be an easy one. Yes, you are. You're going to be an easy one. There's not really a whole lot for us to do with you other than just get you fattened back up and give you a second chance. That's all we have to do with you, sweetie. Fatten you back up, give you a second chance. Yeah, you're looking beautiful. Come on, baby. Yeah, I know it's scary. It is so scary to have to come to a place like this. But the good news is you're not going to be with us too long. She'll probably be with us about a month. And so she's been with us now. It's about mid-November. Yes, Bella's talking over me. It's about mid-November, and it's time to get her back in the wild. She's been in the flight chamber now for months, and eating all that she wants to eat. So come on in, and we'll show you what we're working on. And we have, as you can see, we have a really strange colored eagle on the ground. That's what we call a white-bellied bald eagle. You can see right here that it's missing most of its primary and secondary flight feathers off this wing. And it's because of malnutrition that that's happened. And the other wing is kind of the same way. I know, you're gonna bite me if I give you a chance. Much of its primary and some of its secondary flight feathers are just not there. And he's gonna have to grow new ones. Here's the bad part though. We try to get him back in the wild as quickly as we possibly can. Yeah, you're a good boy. It's just as fast as possible. And unfortunately for this guy to grow in the feathers that he needs to be able to fly appropriately, he's probably going to be with us for a year, maybe 2 years. So he's going to be pretty much a long-term resident with us. And yes, you will. But that's okay. We'll take care of you, kiddo. We'll come on out and we're going to treat him for parasites and put him in with the golden eagle and see how they do together. And the white-bellied bald eagle, again, is a young eagle, but it was fed so poorly in the nest that its feathers are so badly degraded that it's going to be with me for a year or more while it grows new feathers. But our golden eagle up on the upper perch is doing wonderfully, and she's ready and raring to go. And so now I've got to go catch her, and that's what the net is for. Hey, sweetie. Are you ready to go back to the wild where you belong? That's my girl. Okay. That's my girl. There's my girl. Where's your feet? Here. There's one foot. Here's the second foot. Okay. Now we got it. Oh, I know, babe. It's out of the net. There's my girl. Come on up. Nice big. You're sure fat. You've been eating for months. You really weigh a ton. Wow, are you heavy? Okay. Well, here's our young golden eagle female, and she is ready to go back to the wild today. This always makes for a good day when I can release one of my eagles back into the sky where they belong. Now, what I've just put it on her head here, this is called a hood. This is a very important piece of equipment. It blindfolds them. And so basically she can't see anything, so when we transport her to the car, she can't see where she's going, so she doesn't become overly stressed while being transported. So that's what the hood is for. Boy, are you a chunky little girl. And it's so nice. When she came in, wow, you can't even find her keel bone. She's put on a ton of weight. When she first came in, she was super, super skinny and was starving to death. But she is now nice and fat and healthy and ready to go back to the wild. So let's go ahead and get her in the box for transport. Such a pretty girl. Okay, you ready, sweetie? In the crate. Here we go. Put your tail out of the way. That's my girl. Let's go turn an eagle loose, shall we? We have Alan here with us. Alan's going to talk a little bit about the Shared Love program. Alan.
Great, Martin. Hey, I really appreciate a chance that we have today again to partner with Martin. Southwest Wildlife Foundation is it's remarkable, as he says, 7 years doing this, and to help sponsor Southwest Wildlife, and also to launch the Subaru Love event, which is going to start in November and run through the end of the year. It's just remarkable that, you know, as we go forward, Subaru is going to donate $250 per car that we sell, and also Findlay Subaru will donate another $50 on top of that. And again, I'm just kind of standing here in amazement, because this is as close as I've ever been to a beautiful creature like that.
Without your support, much of the work that we do, we couldn't have accomplished. So we're so grateful.
Appreciate that.
For Subaru of America and Findlay Subaru for helping us.
Thank you.
This particular eagle, like I said, she was young eagle. She was separated from her parents. You know, the parents don't teach them how to hunt. And most people believe that they're with their parents for months or years, and that's really not the case. Once the eagles start to fly, they follow the parents around, and by the time you get to the end of July, they're pretty much on their own. And so this little gal, it was the end of July. Mom and Dad were no longer feeding and caring for her, and she was doing very poorly in the heat of the summer. It was dry and hot, and she wasn't able to find sufficient food, and she was starving to death. So about 80% of all birds of prey do not survive the first year, and this is a good reason why they don't survive, is they don't have the kind of long-term nurturing relationship with their parents like humans do. It's very fast, and it's over very, very quickly, and it's really truly is a sink or swim. You either survive or you don't. So anyway, we take her in, we fatten her up, we give her a second chance. It took her longer than I would have liked to. I would have liked to have only had her till like the 1st of September, mid-September, somewhere around there, and release her back to the wild. Well, she, you know, she was eating really well, but she wasn't going on the upper perches and flying back and forth across the chamber, and that's our kind of measuring stick. If she's flying back and forth, and you can see that the wings are supporting her weight, and she's doing well, then we're certainly a little more motivated to get her cut loose. And it wasn't really till about the 1st of October that she started going on to the upper perches. So now that she's up on the upper perches and flying back and forth for more than a month and getting a little bit of exercise, it's now time to get her back in the wild again. And so the nice thing about an eagle is, in her condition right now, she is extremely heavy. In fact, she's so heavy that she's not going to fly as well as you might think, because she weighs so much. We've put so much fat on her, and that's a good thing. So that she has literally 3 weeks before her health starts to become an issue if she doesn't find anything to eat. And so she's got a long period of time now that she can kind of fly around and reacclimate herself to the area. Actually, where we're going to release her, she came from the hurricane area, and the mountain that we're going to release her on, you know, she just has to turn south and soar along the ridge, and she's in hurricane in about 10 to 15 minutes. So, you know, a lot of people ask me about, you know, do I take them back to exactly where we found them? I says, no, of course not. And the reason that we don't is because that's where they were being unsuccessful. And so we try to release them in an area that is a better opportunity so they can be successful. And just off the top of the mountain here above Cedar City is a very good spot, and she can pretty well in a very short period of time, go 100 miles plus in either direction very, very quickly. So what she's going to do is we're going to release her, and for the first 5 years of her life, most golden eagles do very, very little hunting at all. They live primarily off of roadkill, and they eat carcasses. And so this little gal right here will spend the next 5 years basically living off of dead stuff, and that's actually their preference. And the reason it's their preference is because the bottom line is dead rabbits don't run nearly as fast as live ones. So they're looking for an easy meal, a comfortable meal. And so she'll from up where we're going to release her, there's lots of places where there's roadkill rabbits, and so she'll just kind of pick an area, and she'll basically stay there through the winter. Now, the reason we've chosen today to release her, even though we've got a lot of smoke in from a fire that was about 50 miles north of us, but we don't expect to have any severe weather in the entire state of Utah for about 10 days. And so she'll have about 10 days of nice, calm, no snow, no rain, no wind, that she can just basically relax, and to give her the very best opportunity. And so we give her the best opportunities, and I'm often asked, do we train them? And I says, no, we don't, because we don't want to acclimate them to humans. And the truth is, mom and dad don't really train them either. It truly is a sink or swim for these guys. So we'll give her the best chance we possibly can, and all we can do is just kind of turn them loose. Now, we don't ban them. The federal government doesn't allow us to ban wildlife rescues, and so we can't put a ban on her. I've been asked oftentimes, have I ever had a bird come back? And the truth of the matter is, no, not that I know of. The birds are, they're gone. They stay as far away from humans as possible. She has the same potential for survival right now today that any of the wild young golden eagles that hatched this year have. So, and that's the best we can give them is that same opportunity.
The Southwest Wildlife Foundation of Utah is a non-profit organization dedicated to wildlife rescue and rehab, education, and the development of the Cedar Canyon Nature Park. Our founder, Martin Tyner, is a federally licensed falconer, rehabber, propagator, and educator with over 50 years of experience. If you would like to learn more or help us help critters, please visit www.gowildlife.org.
Well, we're up at the Sea Overlook. Now, this is about 9,000 feet above Cedar City, and the nice thing is that this is part of the edge of the Colorado Plateau mountain range. We do try frequently that if we have an eagle that's ready for release, to include the community, not only because of the Native American concept of the eagle feather, but also as education. Most people will never have the opportunity to see an eagle as close as you guys are going to see an eagle with me today. And so you're my audience today, instead of making this a group, because she needs to go and we didn't have the opportunity to put a group program together. You're going to be my audience, and so you're going to get this up close and personal experience with the eagle, just like our group programs do. So that's why we do the programs. It's strictly educational. I want them to understand what an eagle is and why they're so important, why they're so special. And I've been asked about the kennel and about why don't we just release the eagle out of the box, and why do I hold it? Well, first of all, we try to use the eagle that we're releasing back to the wild for education just before we turn it loose. Now, it is against the law for me to take this eagle out to the public and do educational programs with her. That's what my Eagle Scout is for. But if we have a bunch of people show up at the release, and I can pull the eagle out and I can explain to people how wonderful an eagle is, then she serves two purposes. We're getting her back in the wild, and plus she will have a very short period of time where she's an ambassador to wildlife. So that's kind of the give and take of why that. Now, the most dangerous thing is getting her out of the box. And I do have a hood on her, which she has. And you can come around here, you can peek in the box. And she's got her hood, and as you can see, you know, she's got some massive claws on her, and what I have to be able to do is get in there and get control of those feet without her grabbing. If I miss, then I'm going to have those talons literally through my hand, and she has enough strength in those feet to crush the bones in my hand. So please don't try to do this at home. You know, I've been doing this for 50 years, and so there's a little technique that I use. But let me get her out of the box now. And I have to, and you can't hesitate. You have to do it fast, because if she gets any inkling that I'm going to grab her, I'm in trouble. So we get in right here. We go. And I get those feet. Now once I've got the feet, I get her out of the box. And then I basically transfer her to one hand, bring her around. There's my girl. There's my big girl. Okay.
Now, would you ever let anyone else take her out of the box?
I would never let anybody else take her out of the box, for the simple fact that if you're not really precise, you know, your next stop is going to be the hospital. Because look at these feet. I mean, they're just beautiful, massive, powerful talons. That's what she kills with, and you don't want to make a mistake with those feet. So yes, I bring her, I do reach in the box, I do bring her out. She still has her hood on where she can't see, and so that helps to keep her a little more calm, a little more stress-free. And what I love to do is like to introduce people to an eagle up close and personal. So the first thing you see is those magnificent feet, 600 pounds per square inch of crushing power. Like I said, she can put those talons through my hand and crush the small bones in my hand. And so you've got to be very, very careful with those, because that's what she kills with. Now, a golden eagle is booted, which means it has feathers. As you see right here, it has feathers all the way to the top of the foot. The leg itself isn't bare. Now the bald eagle, the tarsi, this is the tarsi right here on a bald eagle doesn't have feathers. And so that's a real hint to be able to identify if it's a bald or a golden. If it has feathers to the top of the foot, it's a golden. If its legs are bare, it's a bald eagle. Now the golden eagle here, she's a juvenile. Because she's a juvenile, you see she has white right here on her tail. Got that nice big white, thick white band in her tail. As she gets older, she loses the white. When she's 5 years old, the tail is very much a blackish color, but because she's a juvenile, she has the white band. And so the bald eagle gets the white when they're 5 years old. The golden eagle loses the white when they're 5 years old. The golden eagle is our desert eagle, and this is beautiful habitat for the golden eagle. We have thousands of nesting pairs of golden eagles here in Utah, but we only have about 17 nesting pairs of bald eagles nesting in the state of Utah. So the golden eagles are our primary eagle and what we consider our resident eagle, where the golden eagle is primarily a migratory eagle. Now, the bald eagles are just starting to come to us now. The bald eagles come down from Canada and Alaska, from up north, and they come down for the winter. They start showing up about mid-November, and I just saw, yesterday I saw a bald eagle flying by, and 2 days before that I saw a bald eagle flying by, so the bald eagles are just starting to show. So there we go. Here's our beautiful bald eagle. Now,
what's the effect of holding this girl right now as you're talking?
Really, there really is not much effect on her other than she wants to go. She wants to get away from me. She doesn't want to be in captivity, and that's a really good thing. To honestly, there's no bonding between her and I. There's no friendship. I don't want her to think of me as a friend. I don't want her to like humans. I want her to stay as far away from humans as she possibly can. And so basically I don't cuddle her, I don't pet her, I don't treat her as a friend. You know, I have to keep a very, very professional distance when I'm handling these birds, so that when they leave, they'll stay as far away from humans as possible.
And what would be a wrong way right now? Like right now she's calm. What would make her riled up?
Well, basically the first thing is I've got her held so she feels that she's kind of caught. Now, if I were to hold her in a way that she had any inclination that she could escape and break away from me, she would certainly try, and then I'd have a fight on my hands. And so, you know, the way I've got her is I've got my arm wrapped around her, I'm holding her feet, I've got my hand on her other wing, she's up against my chest, so even though it kind of feels like she's being cuddled, and it kind of is, but she feels like she can't go anywhere. She feels like she's caught, and so she basically sits quietly. And that really is kind of the goal, is I don't want her to fight, I don't want her to stress, so as long as she feels contained. But I'll tell you what, the minute she thinks she can escape, she will fight with me to get away. And that's good, that's what we want. And so that's the reason that we transport the box. This is the reason that I hold her, the reason that I bring her out for wildlife programs. And come with me, we're going to go release her right now because we don't want to hold her very long. And we're going to go this way. We're at our launch point here. We're nice and clear. We've got about 6,000 feet of elevation. Now the eagle's going to do one of a couple of different things. When I release these eagles back to the wild, oftentimes what they will do is they'll fly a very short distance and land, trying to understand where are they. You know, she's been in captivity for a few months, and she needs to orientate herself with her location, and so they do that quite frequently. They just fly off a very short distance. The other thing they do is they're sufficiently mad at me, they want to get as far away from me as possible, and they'll blast out and they'll just keep going until they disappear. And the third thing that they do is that they will blast out of here, and if there's warm rising air coming up the mountain, they find some lift, and they'll go take warm rising air and they'll go clear up and disappear 10, 15,000 feet in the sky. And so you really never know. Now, the hood I've got on her head here, so now I've got to remove that hood, obviously, before she can go anywhere. And we're going to do that right here. And we loosen that up so now that'll come off very, very easily. And in the process of doing that, I want to be very careful because she will probably want to struggle a little bit while I'm taking that hood off. There's my girl. Oh, you're going to be polite. What a good girl. And so this is our beautiful girl. You see those beautiful brown eyes that she has. Now those brown eyes, when she's a full adult at 5 years old, the eyes will go yellow. But right now they're blind. Now you see the little blink going? That's her inner eyelid. That's called a nictitating membrane. See, birds of prey have 3 eyelids. They actually have a lower eyelid that will fold up, upper eyelid that will fold down, and then the inner eyelid, the nictitating membrane, that goes from side to side. And that protects the eagle's eyes when the eagle is flying at high speed or hunting. It works like a pair of goggles. And so she can see through that inner eyelid, but it protects it. Well, we've certainly held her long enough. We need to get her out to the wild as quickly as we can. And so, are you ready to go, my pretty little girl? Instead of having some stranger release you, it's me. Yeah, I get to turn you loose. And so, guys, let's say goodbye to our beautiful little friend, and let's hope that she never has another contact with humans again forever and ever. You ready, sweetheart?